Hey, welcome again. It's Wednesday, and I'm going to show you how I check the transmission fluid on my 300 diesel. And the reason I learned how to do this today was because Tuesday I was going to drive it to the office for the first time, but it was the second day after a snowstorm, and so it was such a slippery mess in my neighborhood. And this thing's rear-wheel drive with no fancy electronics. I said, oh, heck no, man, I'm not going to do this today. So I brought it back to the house, sliding all the way up the hill. But I used to go skiing and drove a 1986 Trans Am up to Kirkwood to do some downhill. So I know how to drive in the snow, but it was a little sketchy coming back. I was kind of fishtailing and sliding, but kept it moving, so I never had to restart or anything. So today, Wednesday, I was going to go get my hair cut the next town over, and I thought, okay, I'm going to drive my baby for the first time. I deliberately had very little fuel in it because I wanted to drain the tank, check the fuel trap, and check the fuel gauge because it doesn't seem to be working right. Sometimes I've got like an eighth of a tank, sometimes it says I have zero. So I thought, I probably got a little bit of gas in there. Well, it stalled out on the way to the hair guy when I cornered and braked and accelerated too much. But if I drove slow, I was cool. So I called my wife, said, bring me the fuel can, meet me at the hair place. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to see if I can make it. Just follow me. And like so many people who go to Applebee's, I ended up running out of gas in the Applebee's parking lot. And I had to have my beautiful wife, Lisa, bring me, I'm going to switch views. Had to have my beautiful wife Lisa bring me this can of diesel, which I had at the house but neglected to bring with me because I was in a hurry to leave this morning. Well, before the car had ran out and I tried to unsuccessfully get back to work, I thought, well, maybe it's low transmission fluid, because it really didn't feel like any car that I've ever driven that was going to, have its run out of fuel. Gasoline motors are pretty sputtery and quick, but this was much more delicate. It kind of kept trying. It just kind of coasted a little bit. So here's the transmission dipstick. I checked it at the place and I realized that there was no problem with the fluid level, at least as far as I could tell. You got to lift this little switch up here, and then you yank it out. And can I find it? Where's the camera at? Where's the lens? Hey! Oh, strange perspective. Well, this is impossible to hold this thing still. Switch grip. But you got your two lines. I don't know if we can get the light just right, but it's right about where it should be. There's the two marks. If you get the light just right, you can see that it's just below the lower of the two marks, maybe a half an inch. So that's a little bit too low, but it is pretty cold in the car. And they said it could be like about 0.4, 0.6 inches below the lowest line for the transmission engine, if the engine wasn't up to temperature, which is normally the case. I'm going to pause this. Okay, so, the transmission fluid was dirty, no question of that, but we filled up the tank. Well, we emptied half of this bottle into the gas tank. I did it wrong. There was some kind of a little, the little cap, the little red cap here on this guy. I accidentally left it on the other side of it, so I'm like holding this can for like 20 minutes as it trickles past the seal, not really realizing that I had not taken the seal off. So that was kind of a silly error on my part. But I put 2.5 gallons worth in, which should take it higher on the gas gauge. And you can see that now. Quarter tank? I don't think so. I was bone dry, and I put in maybe 2.5 gallons worth, and now it's showing me that I've got almost a quarter of a tank. This is what was tricking me before. It's got like at least an 18 gallon tank, I think. 70 liters, whatever that is. So I know I didn't put no 70 liters in, or not a quarter's worth. 70 liters, I put a quarter of that, a quarter of a quarter in. Forget it. I can't do math. I need to take a little break. I'm at work and I was busy this morning. So anyway, so I'm still on with the, at least working on the fuel gauge, the sending unit. It's in the engine, in the gas tank. So I'll probably do that this weekend. If I can get to the trap, I will, just weather depending, see what it's like. But the transmission does seem to shift pretty well. Ran like a dream, plenty of power. So I'm pretty happy with my first little excursion. The only problem now is I gotta go home in the dark, and this thing's headlights are not that great. I will be turning this. I might do another little quick video to show you just how dim they truly are, both outside and inside, if I'm not too cold to bother doing it. Anyway, so disaster averted, quick thinking on my part, and a super cooperative, wonderful wife. Thank you, Lisa, for taking good care of me and being patient with my automotive shenanigans. And you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time I do something with this thing.